Hello everyone, I'm Trisha Hartanto from Singapore National Academy and I am taking a part in Media Studies AS Level May-June Series 2025. For my media coursework, I chose to make a film opening with my team members Alena Carissa Celestine, Victoria Tanwi Raharjo, and Elaine Fei Huang. We then discussed who is going to do which role. In this case, my role in this project is mainly the editor. However, I took a part where I helped being the actress for one scene. While Alena is a director, Victoria is a creative director, and lastly, Elaine takes the role of being the technical director. Before anything else, in the CCR1, I would like to talk about what our film opening is, what is it about, and why my teammates and I chose a horror for our genre and dreamscape for our theme. To start off, our film opening is called Sweet Dreams, where it has an eerie feeling, strange atmosphere, and it is categorized as a dreamscape theme. And what does the term dreamscape mean? Dreamscape refers to the landscape or a scene where it contains mystery or abnormal characteristics of dreams. In my film opening, two girls named Sarah and Keisha are best friends. However, little did she know, the doll that Sarah gave to Keisha has black magic, which then causes Keisha to always have unsettling nightmares ever since. And those scenes in my film opening can be represented through mise-en-scène and technical quotes. Furthermore, in the script, I would like to talk about the mise-en-scène and technical quotes. Firstly, I'll talk about the mise-en-scène. The first mise-en-scène conventionally can be to horror movies that is represented through my film opening is a set design. As an editor, this is not my task to think about the set design. However, me and my friends work together as a team, so then we coordinate together to carry out ideas for the set design. And for the setting, most horror films use eerie settings such as empty houses. For my film opening, we shot our film opening in Alena's house, director, since her house has lots of space, and how we could make it look like an empty house to convey the feeling of emptiness and loneliness. Our setting also has low-key lighting to give off an eerie feeling. And for the second convention of the mise-en-scène is the prop. In most horror films, they would usually use props like scary dolls, mirrors, rocking chairs, and etc. In my case, the props used in our film opening is how most teenagers use it nowadays, such as the phone our character used, a toothbrush, pajamas, and the doll that contains black magic. Moving on to the technical code, technical codes that is used is the camera shots and angles used in our film opening. However, even if I was not the technical director for this film opening, my teammates and I helped Elaine, who is the technical director, to do research more about what camera shots and angles to use for our film opening as a horror genre. In our film opening, we use establishing shot to film the setting in the first few scenes, over the shoulder shot for the characters texting each other, medium shot, close-up shot, long shot, tracking, over the head shot, extreme close-up shot, and lastly, point of view shot. And there are more camera movements that were used in our film opening to convey more tension, suspense, and fear. Continuing, framing is also important to convey the emotions of a character. To portray intense scenes, they would mostly use tight framing to provoke feelings of tension. However, for my film opening, we would use loose framing shots to show the emptiness, which would further highlight the theme of isolation. Next, I would like to talk about how I became the editor. Following is my role was used in this film. At first, I did not know much about editing skills. However, after all my research, I finally understood how editing works in a proper way and how I could manage it until the end of the film opening. My group members also helped me on how to edit the film opening as we discussed what we wanted for our project to look like. For the first few scenes, I added plenty of fade in and fade outs to convey scenes of transitions between scenes as it builds suspense and to enhance unsettling atmosphere by smoothly transitioning from one to another, often to use in shifting in time, location, or the emotional state. Secondly, there are sound effects that I use to create an eerie atmosphere, and I use strange sounds and diegetic sounds used, such as the distant thuds and cracking noises made from the stairs to create a more creepy feeling. A diegetic sound is where it occurs both naturally and in the final film. making the scene to be more believable. Next, the sound or song we use is scary horror sounds that most horror films would use. This is because adding sounds can make the audience feel more of the horror atmosphere and how we could make it even scarier. Finally, to end up, I am going to be answering the question above on how my product uses or challenges conventions. We as a group agreed that we challenged the conventions by how we decided to show that our main character Keisha is relatable teenager character is dealing with some mental illness. To support my stance, I would state how Bart Semitic series stated that the media text construct a complex series of meanings to the audience of a range of visual and technical codes or even the technical elements. Our choices would help some audience who have the same mental illness